Marcus Aurelius once remarked that while you hold power over your mind, you do not possess it over external events. Realize this truth, and you'll uncover true strength. In a world where emotions often feel like turbulent waves crashing within us, how do we find our center? Join us on this exploration of 7 Stoic teachings that serve as keys to mastering your emotions and navigating life's storms with unwavering steadiness. Before we begin, I'd truly appreciate it if you gave the video a like. Doing so helps support our efforts in spreading Stoic philosophy. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and enable the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Lesson 1. Understand what's within your control. Have you ever felt trapped in a storm? Not one filled with rain and thunder, but the inner storms life throws at us? Events we didn't see coming, disappointments that shake us, or abrupt changes we couldn't anticipate. The Stoics, philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome, offer us an idea that feels like an anchor in these turbulent moments: the dichotomy of control. Imagine this: you've spent weeks planning an outdoor event, and despite all your efforts, it begins to rain. No matter how much you might want to, the weather is beyond your influence. However, how you respond to the rain, that's entirely in your hands. You could get upset, complain, or instead adapt, move the gathering indoors, or even appreciate the rain for what it brings. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who began life as a slave and rose to become one of the most respected thinkers of his era, put it clearly: some things are within our control and others are not. It may sound simple, yet within that simplicity lies a powerful transformative wisdom. Each day we encounter countless scenarios. Some we can influence: our habits, the media we consume, the people we spend time with. But many others lie outside our influence: global affairs, the choices of others, the flow of time, or yes, the weather. And here's where the Stoic approach truly shifts our perspective. Our emotional well-being isn't determined by external events, but rather by how we interpret and respond to them. It's not the event itself that disturbs us, but our judgment about it. Think back to a moment when you faced disappointment, perhaps a job you didn't get. It may have felt crushing at the time, but with distance, maybe you saw it as a redirection, one that led you to something better or helped you grow. So how do we live this wisdom? Start by asking yourself, is this within my control? If yes, take action. If no, let it become a moment for practicing acceptance and adaptability. When we genuinely internalize this mindset, we release ourselves from unnecessary suffering. We navigate life with more clarity and calm, knowing that while we may not be able to direct the wind, we can always adjust our sails. In a world that can often feel overwhelming, this Stoic principle serves as a guiding light, reminding us to focus on what we can influence and let go of what we can't. Lesson 2. Reflect before reacting. In our modern digital world, where quick reactions are often praised, the practice of pausing and reflecting might seem outdated. Yet, it's this very act of stepping back and considering that becomes our saving grace amid life's constant demands. Every day, we're met with decisions, some seemingly minor, others more significant. From picking a dish at dinner to choosing a life path, the choices we face vary, but how we approach them makes all the difference. Picture a moment when you read a message that irritated you. Maybe a colleague criticized your work, or a friend made an insensitive comment. Your initial impulse might be to get defensive or angry. But what if, instead of diving into those emotions, you gave yourself a brief pause? In doing so, you're not repressing what you feel. You're creating space for your emotions to be acknowledged and understood. This is the heart of reflection, not passive acceptance, but active engagement with your inner world. Ask yourself, why did this upset me so much? Is this reaction tied to past experiences or personal beliefs? Is my response about what just happened or about something deeper within me? Reflection before reaction also nurtures empathy. By taking a moment to consider, we open ourselves to others' perspectives. Maybe your colleague was under pressure. Maybe your friend wasn't aware of how their words landed. In relationships, this can be a turning point. How many conflicts could be avoided if we paused before replying? How many bridges could be built, not burned? This reflective space brings clarity, deepens our understanding, and helps us respond with compassion. In professional life, reflective leaders are often the most respected. Their decisions, shaped by thoughtfulness, tend to endure. In a fast-paced world, choosing to reflect is a quiet act of resistance, a promise that we won't be swept away by the tide of haste. It's a commitment to ourselves, our mental health, and the depth of our interactions. To reflect before reacting isn't merely a habit, it's a way of life, one that values intention over impulse, depth over speed, and connection over reaction. It shapes how we live, think, and relate to everything around us. Lesson 3. Practice dispassion. In a world that often pulls us along emotional highs and lows, the concept of dispassion may seem foreign, even undesirable. But let's look deeper into what it really means and the transformation it offers. Dispassion doesn't ask us to suppress our feelings or become numb to life. Instead, it calls us to develop a calm and balanced view, a place of centered observation amid emotional chaos. Think of how you feel watching a powerful movie. You might be moved by the scenes, excited, tense, even tearful, but a part of you always knows it's just a film. You don't leap into the screen. You stay in your seat, witnessing the story unfold. That's what dispassion is, being fully engaged in life, feeling its joys and sorrows, yet staying anchored in awareness, not losing yourself in the drama. In our era of constant notifications and rapid news, reacting emotionally to every headline is exhausting. Dispassion offers breathing space, a way to engage mindfully without being consumed. It also reshapes how we handle conflict. In heated discussions or emotional disagreements, practicing dispassion allows us to listen attentively, speak thoughtfully, and steer the moment toward resolution instead of escalation. It all begins with self-awareness, checking in with your emotions, understanding your triggers, and noticing the patterns that shape your behavior. This gap between feeling and reaction creates freedom, the freedom to choose a response that aligns with your values. And contrary to what some may think, dispassion enhances joy. By not clinging to outcomes, we're free to truly experience each moment, unburdened by fear or attachment. In essence, dispassion is a practice of balance, a tool for navigating life's uncertainty with poise and clarity. When we embrace it, we become a calming presence not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Lesson 4. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Life constantly presents us with situations that test our patience, perspective, and emotional resilience. From the small irritations, a spilled drink, or a missed call, to larger conflicts like a disagreement with someone close, our daily lives are filled with moments that stir emotions. In those heated moments, it's all too easy to become consumed by how we feel right now. A negative comment, a missed deadline, or even forgetting an important date can feel catastrophic in the moment. But there's one simple, powerful question that can immediately shift our perspective. Will this matter in 5 years? This question is like a mental time machine. It allows us to zoom out from the present intensity and consider the bigger picture. Suddenly, that frustrating moment loses some of its weight. The things that feel overwhelming today often fade into the background of our life story with time. Think about your worries from 5 years ago. How many of them still occupy your thoughts? How many have been replaced by new experiences, fresh challenges, or meaningful growth? By regularly asking this question, we start to prioritize more effectively. It helps us separate what's momentarily stressful from what's truly important. A bad day at work, while frustrating, is just one page in a very long book. It's not the whole story. This broader view also builds resilience. When we look at problems through the lens of time, they often appear less daunting. Instead of fixating on what's wrong, we begin asking how we can adapt and grow, knowing that time has a way of bringing clarity and healing. Yet, this isn't just a tool for minimizing stress. It also helps us focus on what matters most. If we want to live a life of long-term significance, we must invest in the things that will matter in 5 years: our relationships, personal development, and acts of kindness. In a society that often urges us to react instantly, this simple question becomes a compass, quietly pointing us toward patience, perspective, and peace. By using it regularly, we make sure our energy flows toward what truly deserves it. Lesson 5. Keep a Stoic journal. Throughout history and across cultures, journaling has been revered, not just as a way to record events, but as a tool for self-reflection, personal growth, and deeper understanding. The Stoics deeply understood this power. A Stoic journal isn't just about writing down what happened during your day. It's a space where your inner world meets the outer one. A place to examine your emotions, thoughts, decisions, and how they align with your values. Picture ending your day by not only reflecting on events, but also examining your responses to them. Why did that one remark bother you? What made you feel unexpectedly joyful in a routine moment? These reflections help you understand your mental patterns and emotional triggers. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, kept such a journal, what we now call meditations. He never meant it to be published. It was his personal space to guide himself, to reaffirm his principles, and to navigate the burdens of leadership and life. You don't need to be an emperor to benefit from this practice. In today's fast-paced world filled with distractions, carving out time to journal provides a much-needed anchor. It becomes a ritual of clarity, a daily check-in with yourself amid the noise. Over time, this practice can lead to powerful insights. You might notice certain recurring sources of stress or identify consistent sources of joy. These patterns help guide your choices moving forward, highlighting what to avoid and what to seek more of. Journaling also builds accountability. By reviewing your thoughts and actions regularly, you're less likely to ignore repeated mistakes or unhelpful habits. Instead, you're encouraged to learn, improve, and evolve. In essence, keeping a Stoic journal is like having a thoughtful, non-judgmental friend who listens, observes, and helps you grow. It's a commitment to self-awareness, a space for truth, and a powerful habit that supports a more intentional and principled life. Lesson 6. See obstacles as opportunities. The human experience is filled with challenges, from personal hurdles to societal upheavals. No one is exempt. But the Stoics offer a radical perspective. What if, instead of viewing obstacles as burdens, we started seeing them as opportunities in disguise? While we can't always choose the events that happen to us, we can choose how we interpret and respond to them. This core belief transforms adversity into an engine for personal evolution. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea with great clarity. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, each challenge isn't just a detour, it's the path itself. Think of a river meeting a massive boulder. Rather than stopping, the river adapts. It finds a new route, or over time, wears the obstacle down. The very presence of resistance shapes the river's journey. Similarly, in our own lives, challenges often redirect us toward unexpected opportunities. A job loss might lead to a new career, skill, or purpose. A breakup might clear space for deeper self-understanding and eventually a more aligned relationship. This mindset doesn't minimize real pain. Instead, it highlights the potential within every struggle. When we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What can this teach me?" we unlock growth even in hardship. The Stoic approach helps us build resilience, not by avoiding difficulty, but by transforming how we face it. Obstacles become stepping stones, shaping stronger, wiser, and more grounded versions of ourselves. Lesson 7. Practice gratitude. Amid the vast spectrum of human emotion, gratitude stands out as a force that weaves joy, peace, and contentment into the fabric of our daily lives. Though it may arise naturally at times, the Stoics believed in making gratitude a deliberate daily habit, one that roots us in the present and reminds us of life's many gifts. Gratitude at its heart is more than saying thank you. It's a deep acknowledgement of the people, moments, and experiences that give our lives meaning. It's about noticing beauty in the ordinary, appreciating lessons from adversity, and recognizing the fleeting nature of life, which makes each moment sacred. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, put it well: "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This quote reflects the essence of gratitude, being fully immersed in the present and valuing what we have, right here and now. Think of life's simple pleasures: the warmth of morning sunlight, laughter shared with a friend, a meal savored slowly. These are everyday miracles that often go unnoticed. But when we pause to appreciate them, we amplify their impact on our hearts. Gratitude also shifts our mental focus. Instead of dwelling on what's missing, we start noticing what's already abundant. This helps reduce envy, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. It nurtures contentment and promotes emotional resilience. So how can we practice it? Start or end your day by naming just 3 things you're grateful for. Over time, this small act changes your mental lens, making you more open to beauty and meaning, even during hard times. Gratitude strengthens relationships too. When we express appreciation for the support or love we receive, we deepen trust and foster goodwill. It creates a circle of kindness. What we give comes back multiplied. In a world obsessed with accumulating more, gratitude gently reminds us to slow down, look around, and realize how much we already have. It's a way of life, a daily devotion to presence, wonder, and heartfelt appreciation. As another day comes to a close, we're left with the quiet but enduring echoes of ancient wisdom resonating through our modern lives. The real question is, how will you use these Stoic lessons to shape your tomorrow? What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.